The moment I realized my own colleagues wanted me to fail was the moment I decided to destroy them all. My name is Sergeant Paul, 32 years old, 10 years of service in the São Bernardo Police Department, 10 years of betrayal, 10 years of watching incompetent officers get promoted while I remained stuck, 10 years of being their scapegoat. But today everything changes. The rain hammers against my apartment window as I sit in the darkness. My service weapon rests on the table before me. Not for what you think, for protection. Because what I'm about to do will make me enemies of every corrupt cop in this city. Let me take you back to where it all began. 3 years ago, I was still naive enough to believe in justice, still foolish enough to think hard work mattered. I had just solved the Ferreira kidnapping case. 48 hours of non-stop investigation, following leads that everyone else dismissed, connecting dots that others couldn't see. I found the victim alive, arrested 3 perpetrators, recovered 2 million reais in ransom money. And what did I get? Captain Mendes took the credit. Good work, team, he announced at the press conference. Team. I wasn't even mentioned in the report. That night, I went home to my empty apartment, opened a bottle of cachaca, and realized something had died inside me. Trust, hope, faith in the system I'd sworn to serve. But anger was born that night. And anger, I discovered, can be sharpened into a weapon. The mockery started small. Sergeant Ribeiro forgetting to include me in briefings. Detective Santos making jokes about my bad luck with cases. Lieutenant Carvalho assigning me to desk duty whenever something important happened. They thought they were breaking me. They were wrong. They were forging me. Like steel and fire. Every insult made me harder. Every betrayal made me smarter. Every injustice made me more determined. I began to watch, and listen, and learn. You see, corrupt cops have one fatal weakness. They think everyone else is as stupid as they are. They talk freely around the harmless sergeant, the one they've convinced themselves is going nowhere. They made their first mistake by underestimating me. It wouldn't be their last. 6 months after the Ferreira case, Detective Santos came to work in a new BMW. Interesting. On a detective's salary? I started following him. Discreetly. Professionally. Old habits from surveillance training. Thursday nights, he met with known drug dealer Carlos Mendoza. Same cafe. Same corner table. Same brown envelope changing hands. I documented everything. Photos with a telephoto lens. Audio recordings when possible. Bank records I accidentally accessed during routine paperwork. Santos wasn't just dirty. He was the dirtiest, but he wasn't alone. Captain Mendes had expensive tastes too. Designer clothes, luxury watch, weekend trips to Rio. All on a captain's salary? I think not. Lieutenant Carvalho's gambling debts had mysteriously disappeared. The loan sharks who used to call him daily? Silent. Someone had paid them off. And I knew who. The same someone who controlled the drug trade in our precinct. Marcus the Ghost Silveira. Most feared criminal in São Bernardo. And apparently most generous employer. But here's what they didn't know. What none of them suspected. I had been building a file. Not just on them. On everyone. Every dirty deal. Every cover-up. Every falsified report. Every piece of evidence that had disappeared. My apartment became a war room. Photos pinned to walls. Timelines mapped out. Financial records analyzed. Phone records cross-referenced. I worked nights. Weekends. Every free moment. While they laughed at me during the day, I was preparing their downfall by night. The breakthrough came during the Rodriguez murder case. Execution-style killing in the favela. Clear gang hit. Professional job. The kind that usually stays unsolved. But I found something. A single shell casing. Overlooked by the thorough crime scene team. The ballistics report came back interesting. The bullet matched a gun from evidence lockup. A gun that had been lost 6 months earlier. Lost by Detective Santos. The same gun used in 3 other unsolved murders. Murders that happened after Santos reported it missing. I had him. But I needed more. Because taking down one corrupt cop wouldn't be enough. I wanted them all. So I waited. And planned. And gathered more evidence. They made it easy. Captain Mendes started pressuring me to drop the Rodriguez case. Not worth the resources, Sergeant. Focus on traffic violations instead. Some cases are better left unsolved. Each conversation was recorded. Each order was documented. Each threat was preserved for posterity. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Carvalho was getting sloppy. Cocaine residue on his desk. Bloodshot eyes during morning briefings. Phone calls to his dealer during lunch breaks. I documented it all. Even found his supplier. Another officer in our department. The corruption went deeper than I had imagined. Sergeant Ribeiro was running girls. Prostitution ring using police protection. Officer Martinez was selling confiscated weapons. Detective Oliveira was blackmailing local businessmen. 37 officers in total. Nearly half the precinct. All connected. All guilty. All about to fall. But I needed the perfect moment. The perfect trap. Something that would expose them all at once. That opportunity came with the Vasquez case. Teenage girl found dead near the docks. Overdose. At least that's what Captain Mendez wanted to rule it. Open and shut case, Paul. Drug addict dies from drugs. Write the report. But Maria Vasquez was clean. No drug history. No needle marks. No addiction. She was a straight-A student. Planning to study medicine. Her autopsy showed something else entirely. She'd been murdered. Drugs injected after death to cover the crime. When I presented this evidence to Captain Mendez, he ordered me to destroy it. The girl is dead, Paul. Her family wants closure. Don't complicate things. That's when I realized they weren't just corrupt. They were protecting a killer. And I knew who. City Councilman Eduardo Ferreira. The same man whose kidnapping case made Captain Mendez famous. The same man who'd been seen with Maria Vasquez the night she died. The same man who contributed generously to the police benevolent fund. Everything clicked into place. The kidnapping 3 years ago? Stage. Insurance fraud. With police cooperation. Mendez got his career boost. Ferreira got his insurance payout. And I got played. But Maria Vasquez wasn't part of their plan. She must have found out something. Threatened to expose them. So they silenced her. Made it look like an overdose. And ordered me to rubber stamp their cover-up. That night I made a decision. I was done being their puppet. Done being the scapegoat. Done letting them profit from misery while I took the blame. Time for the hunter to become the predator. I spent the next 3 months perfecting my plan. Every detail rehearsed. Every contingency prepared. Every piece of evidence organized. I reached out to someone I could trust. Deputy Commissioner Ana Rodriguez from headquarters. Known for her integrity. Famous for taking down corrupt cops. The one person who couldn't be bought. I arranged to meet her at a small cafe outside the city. Brought boxes of evidence. Photos, recordings, documents, financial records. 3 years of patient investigation. She reviewed everything. Her face grew darker with each revelation. Jesus Christ, Paul. This is bigger than I imagined. Half your precinct is dirty. How long have you been working on this? 3 years, I replied. Ever since they stole credit for the Ferreira case. She looked at me with new respect. You've built a federal case here. Why bring it to me instead of internal affairs? I smiled grimly. Because internal affairs is dirty too. Captain Silva from IA has been covering for Mendez. I have photos of them meeting with Silveira. The corruption goes all the way up. Deputy Commissioner Rodriguez stood up. Paced around the cafe. Came back and sat down. Paul, what you've uncovered here. This could bring down the entire command structure. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for the target this puts on your back? I thought of Maria Vasquez. 17 years old. Murdered for knowing too much. I'm prepared, I said. Then let's destroy these bastards. The operation began at dawn. Federal police surrounded the precinct. Internal affairs officers from the Capitol. Prosecutors from the Attorney General's office. All coordinated by Deputy Commissioner Rodriguez. I watched from across the street. As my colleagues were led out in handcuffs, Captain Mendez tried to run. Made it to the parking garage before they caught him. Detective Santos resisted arrest. Had to be tossed twice. Lieutenant Carvalho broke down crying. Begged for mercy. Claimed he was just following orders. One by one they fell. 37 arrests in total. The largest police corruption bust in São Bernardo history. But I wasn't done. While federal agents processed the crime scene, I was across town. At City Hall. With another team of officers. Arresting Councilman Ferreira. For the murder of Maria Vasquez. His face when he saw me. Pure terror. You, he whispered. I should have killed you years ago. Instead of just ruining your career. You should have, I replied. But you made one mistake. You underestimated me. That afternoon the press conference was held. Deputy Commissioner Rodriguez at the podium. Me standing beside her. No longer in the shadows. No longer invisible. She announced the arrests. detailed the charges, praised the investigation. But then she said something that changed everything. The officer responsible for this investigation, Sergeant Paulo Mendez, has shown exceptional dedication to justice, exceptional intelligence in his methods, and exceptional courage in facing corruption. Effective immediately, he is promoted to captain and appointed as the new head of São Bernardo precinct. The room exploded in camera flashes, reporters shouting questions, but I barely heard them. 10 years of suffering, 10 years of humiliation, 10 years of watching corrupt officers prosper. And now, justice. Sweet, perfect justice. That evening I returned to the precinct. My precinct now sat behind the desk that used to belong to Mendez, the same desk where he'd humiliated me countless times. There was a knock at my door. Come in. It was Officer Martinez, one of the few clean cops left. Captain Paul, I just wanted to say, we always knew you were different, better than the rest of us. We just didn't know how much better. I looked at him, this young officer who still believed in justice, who hadn't yet been corrupted by the system, who reminded me of myself 10 years ago. Martinez, I said, the department is going to change. No more corruption. No more favoritism. No more covering up crimes. We're going to be real police officers, the kind this city deserves. He smiled. Yes, sir, Captain. After he left, I sat alone in my office, looking out at the city lights, thinking about Maria Vasquez, about all the victims who never got justice, about all the crimes that went unsolved because corrupt cops were protecting the criminals. That would end now, under my command. My phone rang. Deputy Commissioner Rodriguez. Paul, congratulations again. You've earned this. But I want you to know, what you did today was just the beginning. We're going to need your help cleaning up other precincts, other cities. The corruption is everywhere, and you've proven you have the skills to fight it. I smiled in the darkness. Commissioner, I've been fighting corruption for 3 years. I'm just getting started. As I hung up the phone, I thought about the journey that brought me here, the betrayals that made me stronger, the mockery that made me smarter, the injustices that made me determined. They tried to break me. They tried to destroy my career. They tried to make me quit. Instead, they created their worst nightmare. A cop who couldn't be bought, couldn't be intimidated, couldn't be stopped. They wanted to play games. I played better. They wanted to be corrupt. I was more patient. They wanted to win. I was willing to sacrifice everything. And now, sitting in the captain's chair, looking out over my city, I realized something profound. Revenge isn't about destroying your enemies. It's about becoming so successful, so powerful, so respected, that their betrayal becomes irrelevant. They gave me the greatest gift possible. They showed me who I really was. Not just a good cop, a great one. Not just honest, unbreakable. Not just dedicated, unstoppable. Tomorrow I'll start rebuilding this department, hiring officers who share my values, training them to be better, teaching them that integrity isn't weakness, it's the ultimate strength. And sometimes late at night, when I'm working on a difficult case, I'll remember Captain Mendez's last words as they dragged him away. You think you've won, Paul? You think this changes anything? You're still nobody. Still the same failed sergeant. I laughed then. I'm laughing now, because he was wrong about everything. I wasn't nobody. I was everybody. Every victim who never got justice. Every honest cop who was pushed aside. Every citizen who deserved better from their police. I was all of them. And I had won. Not just promoted. Vindicated. Not just successful. Triumphant. The rain has stopped now. The sun is rising over São Bernardo. A new day. A new beginning. And I, Captain Paulo Mendez, formerly Sergeant Paul, the cop they tried to destroy, am ready to serve justice. Real justice. The kind that comes not from revenge, but from being better than those who betrayed you. Better than they ever imagined possible. Better than they deserved. But exactly what this city needs. The transformation is complete. The hunter has become the protector. The victim has become the victor. The sergeant has become the captain. And the best part? This is just the beginning. Because justice once awakened, never sleeps again.